Today's guest on Let's Talk Jonesboro is Viola Turner. She's with Colors for a Cause. In fact, she created Colors with a Cause.
Yes, sir.
Viola, this is the third time we've had you on Let's Talk, and it's a pleasure more and more every time. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us, let's first go back to the beginning. Colors
Okay.
for a Cause came out of
The tragic loss of my son, Albert, Andrew Spencer. I lost him when he was 20 years old. He was attending college to be a pediatric nurse, planning a wedding, and we had to stop planning a wedding to start planning a funeral.
And that is as stark a tragedy, I think, as any parent or sibling could ever undergo. I think everybody can feel the depth of the pain that you felt that way that day. And that was what year?
In 2013, it was on my mother's birthday. It was January the 12th. I'll never forget, it was raining, it was storming that night. And I was down visiting my mother at the time. And I had gotten a call from his fiance, and she told me that he had been shot. And it was like my whole world changed. You know, he stayed in the hospital for 5 days, and on that fifth day we lost him, and he was an organ donor, and so I just fulfilled his wish, and we got a chance to meet his heart recipient on national television in 2015. And so we gained a whole new family through Albert's death. We're gearing up now to prepare to go down to Perryville, Missouri for Thanksgiving to spend some time with our extended family. I get a chance to hear Albert's heart. Sometimes his birthday fall on Thanksgiving. Last year his birthday fell on Thanksgiving, and we ate all his favorite foods, and we went outside, and we did a balloon release in his honor.
So this wonderful young man gave, even in dying, he gave
He
life.
saved 7 to 8 lives, and I have a letter from each individual that I received from him.
But you, through this, have found the inner strength to create something to try to prevent these type of endings for other young people
Yes.
or old people or anyone. And Colors for a Cause, the cause is to end gun violence.
To end gun violence. And what I do is I make public speakings. I go to churches, any place that open the door for me to go talk, I go in. Public schools, I go in and share my story. I show my documentary. I actually take the kids on the scene and show them actually what happened that day when my life changed. And I take them back to Albert's beginning, you know, how he grew up. So they get a little bit of everything in that documentary.
Albert grew up in a loving Christian home.
Yes, he did.
And you do have other children.
Yes, I do. I have London, my 9-year-old. That's my rock and roll star, that guy. And then I have Jada.
And how
She's
old
very
is Jada?
quiet and meek. Jada, she's 18. She just graduated from high school this year.
I met her once, and she introduced herself to me, and so she's. They all have a wonderful glow about them. They are just wonderful children, and so I
Yes.
can tell that you guys have been. You have a great bond, but you came through this tragedy, and you are continue to come through it together.
Yes.
What type of, can you think of any moments of response that you see from others when you tell them their stories? Do any memories stand out about the impact that it has on others?
Well, I see kids, they interact whenever I go to high schools. They interact and they get up and share about a loved one that they lost to gun violence, and how their mindset has changed about like getting into different confrontations with other students and stuff, and how they will go by doing it instead of interacting with the child, that they will go tell somebody higher up, like a teacher or administrator.
Yeah, so you can see that reward too. But
Yes.
you have found people who from the community who give their time and their love to your organization. I remember I met a fabulous professor, I think, from
Yeah.
Virginia last year.
Yeah, my childhood friend, Dr. Livingston. He was, at that time, he was teaching at the University of Hamilton, and now he's at your college, Grambling State. He's there now.
He's down in Grambling. That's
Yes.
good. That's
Yes, so
good.
he's been a big supporter. I know next spring I get ready to travel down next year to talk to a panel of students down there. And those students also are working on campaigning for Colors for a Cause, like doing advertisement and stuff like that for me. So
Is that
that's a
right?
blessing. And also, not only that, but also we have the Spirit of Excellence Awards. We're not doing an award ceremony. We're doing a banquet. We're doing a reunion this year from the past 2 years of all the honorees. And that's going to be November the 10th at Fullness of Joy. And it's going to be food, and we're going to have entertainment. Some of the students that was honored are going to get up and sing and dance
Well,
during
and
that time.
that's what I was building toward, because this is your celebration. The work you do with children. Tell us how often you meet with them and what your charity does with them, and then we'll talk about
Okay.
the celebration, the annual celebration.
Okay, we meet with them like once a year, maybe. I say more than once a year. I say probably about 4 or 5 times a year. Sometimes I have them to come on the radio station with me, so they can talk about the positive things that they're doing in their community, in their church, or just in their regular home lives and stuff. My thing is the Spirit of Excellence Awards came about that I wanted to celebrate the greatness in each child, because nowadays you hear so many negative things on television that the youth are doing. What about the positive things that they are doing? And so I just
So
wanted to
wonderful.
shine a positive light on our youth and just love them, and not only just that, but also it encourages those that are maybe in a negative light, would pull themselves up and look towards them and become positive.
Right. And I've attended a couple of your celebration banquets, and the mayor has helped you with one. So what we see is young children who are engaged, and when I say young, I mean high school age, and they are aware of the tragedies of gun violence. They are
Yes.
aware of who they want to be. They're very confident in who they are, and they show up respectful,
Yes.
well
Mannered.
groomed, well mannered,
Yes.
and it's just a wonderful show. And so, what type of things are you awarding when these kids and their parents come to celebrate on this occasion?
In the areas of academics, sports in the school, community services, because many of the youth belongs to community services and ministry in the church. Last year we had a 9-year-old that was honored. She praise dance in her church. Her academics are on track. A and B student stays on the honor roll. And not only that, but she's a director in her choir. She directs her youth choir.
Yeah, it's we've seen some of they also are very talented.
Very
Some of these
talented.
kids have a whole lot to give,
Yes, they do.
and you have tapped into that
Yes.
through Colors for a Cause.
Yes.
How much time do you spend on Colors for a Cause? And this is a nonprofit, so how much time do you spend out of your hours do you give?
Sometimes I go to bed kind of late because it be on my mind, just thinking about what can I do differently, how can I improve it. I'll say out of 24 hours, I'll say about 16 hours thinking about what can I do different. And then also I write too, so I contribute. Then we have Camp Albert.
Tell
That's
us
a
about
grief
it.
camp. That's a summer camp. We have Camp Albert, which was named after my son. His name was Albert. And Camp Albert deals with kids that has been affected in their community by gun violence. They may not have lost a loved one or someone close, but they still feel the effect of it because they're scared to go different places. It still affects them. So we opened up that camp. I started it in my hometown, Helena, West Helena, because we have so many people, young people in that town that are losing their lives maybe once a week or maybe 2 and 3 times a month. And so I opened it up there. And so now I'm getting ready to travel with Camp Albert. I'm looking forward to bringing it to Jonesboro this year. Also, I would need funding because it just don't operate off air.
Right.
And then also I'm looking to bring it to Memphis to the Dayswell Community Center.
Do you have grant writers, or do you write your own grants?
At this time, I don't have any grant money. I've been operating off for any funding that people have been donating.
So those who know how to find grants for things like that, would please, if you can have a
Yes,
chance
reach
to,
out to me. Reach out.
because Viola's been doing this for a while.
Yes.
You're not a fly by night. You are totally committed to this cause.
Yes, sir,
and
I am. This is my heart. You know, this is my heart. I started off as the neighborhood Bible study teacher. The kids would come to my home. And so my home has been one, like a safe haven for kids. So this vision didn't really just start with me losing Albert, working with the youth. It started long before that. That's my heart. It's my passion to bring about a change in the lives of the youth.
And you live in Jonesboro, and you serve Jonesboro youth, but you also work with other communities. You've reached beyond Jonesboro, right?
Yes, sir. In Memphis, I do. Yes, sir.
And I think you have some people who volunteer with you and give
Yes,
their
I
time.
do. Yes, I do.
Can you tell us about any of those?
Yes, I have Enos Jackson, originally from Helena, West Helena, and of course you know him, and he serves on the K-9 unit in Memphis.
In Memphis.
And he has partnered with my organization, and he goes out and he teaches gun safety. He teaches gun safety whenever.
If you're going to have a gun, you should be safe with it.
In the Helena, West Helena Police Department. With Camp Albert, we have a variety of things. It's just not a camp, but the kids are being taught naturally and also spiritually. We taught CPR. The Helena Fire Department, they came out and taught the kids how to save lives. So we rotate classes every 30 minutes. Southern Bank Corp, they came out and they taught financial literacy. The kids learned how to write a check, how to balance a checkbook, how to use a debit card. Then we had the Sheriff Department. They taught on gun safety during that time. We had Walmart to bring their corporate truck down to participate in the parade against gun violence that day. And the kids got a chance to tour the truck. And also Walmart gave out candy, gave water to my organization that day. And also Ducks Unlimited came down.
Is that right?
And participated and taught on careers and gave out a lot of souvenirs. And also the gentleman that's over Ducks Unlimited in Memphis, we're trying to turn Camp Albert into a 5-day camp, which the 5-day camp would start in my hometown, Helena, West Helena. And he wants me to bring the kids to Memphis one day as an outing to tour Ducks Unlimited.
Very nice.
And to have lunch.
That's really nice. It's incredible in 5 years the amount of connections you've made and the
Just
good
only,
that you have
really,
done.
Bill, I started in 2015.
So
The vision
really
came in
3 years.
2015, so really 3 years, real babe, but it doesn't seem like that because I'm out moving and doing. It's my passion.
Yes, and it's all in the name of Albert.
Yes.
And this young lady is a rainbow after her own personal nightmare tragedy. And for that, Viola, I think Jonesboro and all of us owe you a thank you and congratulations, admiration on the work you've done. So thank you for joining us on Let's Talk.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.